Hey, so this is going to be kind of a quickly thrown together video, but it's something that I kind of wanted to make for a while because there's just a whole bunch of factors related to this kind of swirling in my head right now. And so this is just going to be kind of a quickly pieced together rant. But first, I finished my move. I'm now in Columbus, Ohio. I moved from Indianapolis, and it was chaotic, honestly, because the snow was a pain in the butt. But yeah, I'm all here. I moved in, and I'm still working remotely for my job. But anyways, now to the topic of this video. Before I get to the serious part of this, I just kind of want to start off on a lighthearted note of what made me kind of thinking about this topic. Recently, like roughly a month ago, the Pope compared people not wanting to have kids to people owning pets and saying that people were using pets to replace the, companionship of having children. And obviously that got a lot of people pretty irritated. Rachel Oates, an atheist YouTuber I watch, made a video about it, and she summed up a lot of my feelings pretty well. Of course, a lot of conservatives would back what the Pope would say. But one reason it stood out to me in particular is because, I was recently, in addition to the stress of moving my fish from Indianapolis to Columbus, that got me thinking about, owning pets and, how many pets I would be willing to own. I've also been thinking about, in recent years, wanting to adopt a dog, because I'll admit, I like animals a lot. I kind of like them better than people. Only problem for me is the dog I want above all others is a Doberman. I absolutely love Dobermans, and I've known people that have had them, and every Doberman I've ever met I liked a lot. But my current apartment and most that I look at don't allow Dobermans. So, plus, they're a very high energy, high maintenance dog, so that I don't have the time or energy for one. But anyways, the reason I'm talking about this is because I actually, on the flip side of it, despite liking animals, I really, really don't like kids that much. Now, I'm never mean to kids. I am in no way like the type that goes around yelling at them. But I really don't like kids, and I don't want one. And I mean, when I say I don't want kids, I mean I would avoid marriage with a girl that I otherwise liked, literally just to avoid having kids. I mean, some people may find that weird and irrational, but the thing is, the thing is, there's 8 billion people in the world. Okay, we're not going to run out anytime soon. And there may be some countries where the population rates are going down, but the world is never going to get to the point where everybody doesn't want to have kids. There's plenty of people in this world that aspire greatly to the idea of wanting to have kids for reasons that are really unbeknownst to me. I'm assuming that, I guess it's the joy of having and raising children and maybe getting to see what they're like as adults. I mean, I'm just spitballing because, of course, I don't even remotely understand it. But, the reason I'm talking about this is because, one thing I'm certain of, it's not to sit here and be a single guy with no kids wagging my finger at people who don't, who have kids, but it's more just to try to talk with people who have kids or who want to have kids and say, I'm not really your enemy. And, you don't need to be agreeing with the Pope's dopey statement, the Pope is a dope. I mean, because people who aren't having kids are not hurting anyone, and people who have kids and want to raise them and be good to them are not hurting anyone. The people who have kids just as a status symbol and then treat them like dirt, and full well there are a ton of people out there like that in this world, they're the ones making life miserable for all of us, okay? And surely that's one thing that even a person who wants to have kids and doesn't understand someone like me who really doesn't want to have kids can agree on. Okay, and part of the reason this has also been in my head recently is I've had some weird debates on the internet recently with a bunch of people regarding different things about having kids. One was a long while ago where I had a debate with some conservatives on the internet who were talking about how putting your kids first was the ultimate thing in life, and that all women should have kids, and any woman who doesn't want kids was a spoiled brat, which of course is just stupid, and I told her just that. And I also told her another thing that I think, which is that I think parents have put in almost too much of a pressured situation these days to always put their kids first. And I don't mean that, don't make your kids a priority. I mean, don't make your kids the center of your universe. Don't make your kids the only thing that you look to make your life happy. Because if you do that, I hate to say it, that's only you can look to yourself for happiness and to your own life. Your kids' lives are theirs, and your life is yours. That doesn't mean don't prioritize their life. It means, that don't try to make them the basis of your marriage, your, happiness, or everything. And of course, I'm a single guy just wagging my finger at people who have kids. I'm not saying if you want to do that, you can't. I'm just saying that there's a huge difference between that and then people who, between people who don't make their kids the center of everything and people who actually then just don't make their kids the center of anything and keep their kids at the back of all of their priorities, So, I mean, that was one reason. And then another reason recently is I got in a debate with some people on the internet about how much, well, on second thought, I won't address that. Moving on. Anyways, it was an awkward conversation I got into with some women on the internet. We'll just leave it at that. Bottom line, though, is that, I really, really think, though, this world would be a better place if we were less focused on, just having kids for the sake of having kids and the sake of it as a status symbol and trying to judge people whether or not they do or don't have kids as being a good thing, honestly, truth, when push comes to shove, I think a person who has a kid and raises them well and does a good job as a parent and doesn't expect anything in return actually does do a good deed to the world. Whereas me, not having kids, I'm doing a neutral act. But that's all I ask them to do, or that's all I ask in return that they do for me is they just acknowledge that me and others, and especially women who don't, because women are judged more harshly than men, are just neutral for not having kids, because ultimately they're not hurting anyone in this world, and neither am I. So, anyways, just a random rant, and like I said, I didn't think I would make this for a while because of the chaotic state of my life, but thanks for watching despite the usual low quality of this, and see you next time. Bye.